How's it going, everybody? I want to preface this video by reminding you, because no matter how many times we seem to say it, it seems to be forgotten, that there are two people who work on Blade Bias. One of them is me. My name is Ty, also known online as Telestro, or some of you may know me as Telestro Flips. And then there's also Ethan, also known online as camaroEE. We have been best friends since we were little babies, and over the course of us both getting into the balisong hobby, we were like, let's start a joint channel and do cool things, and we both upload on that channel. So for a while, it was both of us uploading every other day. That way we'd get daily uploads. And over time, I kind of stopped uploading. So if you were recently coming into Blade Bias, let me make sure, my mic recording? Yes, it is. Okay, if you're recently coming into Blade Bias, you may be confused as to how is there two people? I only see videos from one person. There's no daily uploads. It's like every other day. There was. It was an even split. It was basically 50-50 on everything for a period of time. But of course, that doesn't last forever. One of us eventually was going to give out, and I'm sure as a surprise to nobody, and definitely not a surprise to either one of me or Ethan, it was me. I was the one to give out first. And that is a thing that is to be expected. I'm not going to like blame anything or make any excuses, but I am a person who has a lot of different hobbies, does a lot of different things. That's part of just the way I am. And I'm always kind of trying new things and moving on to different things and just kind of bouncing back and forth. It's very hard for me to cement myself into one thing. So, over the last 2-ish years, I have been absolutely, my entire life was balisongs. That's all it was. That's all it has been. It's just been that, just balisongs, over and over and over for 2 years. Which over time, you know, it starts to drag on you a little bit. And when you make something your entire life for 2 years straight, I mean, the only thing I saw on social media was balisongs. The only thing I did in any spare time that I had was flip. Just my entire life was balisong related. And over time, you know, that kind of starts to eat at you a little bit, to the point where you don't quite enjoy it much anymore. And when I moved down here, which is about the same time that I really took up flipping, I moved down to Florida, I had nothing better to do. I had no friends. I didn't have any of my music stuff, so I couldn't work on any music or play guitar anymore. I was just kind of, balisongs were it. And my living situation was not great up until very recently, when I got my apartment. So it's just been kind of, you know, back and forth, but balisongs are the only thing I had to rely on. So I just went for it, and, you know, built myself a little community and got some awesome opportunities at Blade Show. I could talk about this stuff forever, but basically, my point, after 2 years-ish, give or take, I don't even know exactly, but it's somewhere around 2 years, of flipping, nonstop. My entire life is about balisongs. I'm just kind of getting bored of it, and also I finally have the space again to, you know, do the things I want to do. And what I thought that was going to mean for me was, oh, make better balisong videos, involve this more into my life. But what it actually means is that I can finally do my other hobbies again and realize that I enjoy them more. So, yeah, I don't have the motivation to do balisong content anymore. I do still flip. This is the point where I'm answering a few questions that people have asked me on Instagram. I do still flip fairly often, and I do still like balisongs. Like, I just got this in. You'll see a video on this. This is not my last video on Blade Bias, so there'll be a few more here and there, but I'll touch on that in a second. But I do still flip occasionally. I do still have some on my collection. I did sell most of it, but I do still have some of the main, you know, the big guys. But I don't hate balisongs. You know, if a new knife comes out that's interesting, I'd want to try it. You know, I'd want to spend a little time with it. But I no longer plan to make balisong content. that is where this all goes. That does include blade bias. I no longer plan to make Balisong content to dedicate my time and my energy and my life to the Balisong hobby. That mostly just means, that doesn't mean I'm gonna like full on, like I said, I'm not gonna completely disappear. Like if something new comes out, cool. If somebody's selling something, maybe I'll repost it. But I just feel like I have more fun at this point doing other things. Another question I got, do I still plan to go to Blade Show? Yes, I absolutely love going to Blade Show. That is still something I do plan to do. But basically, there's a lot of other things I would love to also do. So I'm going to do those things. I'm just kind of going to pivot a little bit. I had something else I wanted to say, but I completely forgot. But yeah, I still enjoy Balisongs and like flipping. I still flip occasionally, not nearly as much as I used to, but a couple times a day I'll pick up and I'll flip for like a couple minutes and then I'll put it back down. I still occasionally flip, but I just have other things that I'd rather do. So that's what I'm gonna do. Another question that people ask me, what is going to happen to blade bias? That is not for me to explain in this video. Basically, everything is getting handed over to Ethan. He will have full control over whatever happens to blade bias. So, yeah, we talked about it. The people in his stream chat were like, okay, so who's replacing Ty if Ty's gonna leave? Like, I'm like, damn, give me a minute, jeez. They're talking about replacing me before I even made an official, like, see you later post. I'm like, ouch, first of all, kind of hurt a little bit. But I don't think I'm going to be replaced because we have talked about this. There will definitely be guests and such, but nothing's for certain yet. That is kind of for Ethan to talk about. But, yeah, it's just kind of like general burnout is one thing. And, of course, everyone gets burned out every once in a while. But when your entire social media presence is on one topic, it's more than just general burnout, It's kind of like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And there's a lot of things about the community that just kind of I don't want to be involved in anymore. There's a lot of things that just like I just don't really care to do anymore. It's just general losing interest. And that is just something that's going to happen. In general, when you make videos and content about a specific hobby that's very, very niche, it sucks over time. And also another thing, there's two more things I want to touch on, which is YouTube and Instagram hating us, and also what was the other one? Oh, my skills. So to talk about I guess the lesser of the two evils, more evil but like less important to me, is YouTube and Instagram. I'm not the person who is like, YouTube and Instagram hates us, we all suck, the community is dead. That's all a load of garbage. The community is bigger and better than it has ever been, as evidenced by how many people are going to Blade Show and how many people are, maybe not better than it's ever been, but it is nowhere near dead. I think the community probably peaked during COVID when people had nothing better to do, but the community is nowhere near dead. The culture has changed and the market has changed. That is 100% for certain. But a lot of people, especially some makers, are saying the community is dead because their products aren't selling. That is not the case. There are other reasons for that. I won't go into it to this video, but the social media platforms definitely don't like us very much because you guys need to understand, at its core, we are a hobby based around weapons and playing with those weapons in a way that could be harmful. That is as simple as that. If Instagram were to take down especially because a lot of our community presence is sales and the Balisong sales, hashtag and stuff like that, and just accounts in general. If Instagram were to take down a gun sales account, people would be like, damn, that kind of sucks, but yeah, they're selling firearms. Understandable, it's against their terms of service. It is the same thing for Balisongs. Instagram doesn't really know that trainers are a thing because they're not as involved. So they just see, oh, they're selling knives, and knives that are illegal in most places of the world. Ban. So there is a reason. Instagram is not just going around nuking accounts for literally no reason. Even if they don't quite understand it, like even if your account is almost entirely trainer based and they kill it, there is technically a reason, because to them, they don't know that. They only see a surface level thing, which is Balisongs are butterfly knives, which are illegal in most places, and they are selling them. So kill the account. That just happens. That is incredibly demotivating. When I put all of my skills and all of my life and all of my effort into Balisong videos, and there's always the threat that all of it could be erased with the snap of some guy in corporate's fingers, and I will never get any of it back. That alone is enough for me to not want to do this anymore. And not saying I'm like paranoid about it, because in general I've been pretty lax with it, because I've never gotten an issue. All of my accounts are age verified. They're all, you know. Also, if you're underage, if you're under 18 and your videos are getting taken down, that is why. Stop complaining about it. You are literally breaking the rules. So don't complain about it. Side tangent, but yeah, the thought of that happening is just enough for me to be like, the fact that, you know, I try to show off some of my film and cinematography stuff, and the only thing I have to show people is like knife reviews, is like, a lot of people just don't get it, and they're like, okay, so you like, what am I watching? So it's like, I just want to do other things, you know. And another thing is that I think the skills that I've built over the course of the past couple years have outgrown Balisong reviews, because to be truthful, there is only so much you can do with reviewing the same type of product over and over and over and over and over again. There is only so far you can take it. So I think it's about time that I just do something else. And unfortunately, I am not the type of person who can multitask and do 20 different things. I commit myself to one thing until I get sick of it, and then commit myself to another thing until I get sick of it, and then commit myself to another thing until I get sick of that. So unfortunately, I can't really still make Balisong videos occasionally while doing other things. Once I'm done with it, I'm done with it. Finding the motivation to pick up like one of my knives and make a review on it has been so difficult. I just don't care to do it. I still enjoy the hobby somewhat, and I still do flip occasionally, and I enjoy flipping, and I've been like trying to learn some new stuff just because it's fun. But making videos is out of the question for me at this point. I've tried to hold on to what shred of like interest I have, like, oh, I'll come back to Blade Bias, oh, I have one more review to make, and then, I'll make a couple other videos and then drop a Balisong review kind of in between, but it never happens, because I just don't care to. So basically, that's kind of the most of what I have to say. But yeah, I think I would have more fun and have more. I'd be able to show my skills better doing other things. My Balisong videos are something I'm never proud of showing people. I'm proud of them existing because of, you know, I'm in the Balisong hobby. They're videos for people in the Balisong hobby. The people in the Balisong hobby do like them a lot. But in terms of, like, that being my life, I don't know if I'm entirely happy with it. And, you know, there's one video that I've always been extremely proud of, and I have never once questioned how much I love the video. And on an old channel of mine, I made a video about the lo-fi genre of music. The video is called Lo-Fi Genre for the Lonely. You might be able to still find, I think that video is still public. I think that the only video on that old channel that is still public. It was like a video essay kind of thing about lo-fi, and just like, there's a little bit of just like human connection in there and just mental health, while also incorporating music into it. That video, and I did all the art and the animation for, well, I didn't do all the art, but I did the animation for it. I did some of the art for it, and I did the background music for that. That video, the only skill that I didn't use in that video was my actual camera work, because none of it was filmed. It was all edited, kind of like in like a it's hard to just watch it. It's like over a blackboard, and all the text and everything is all white, and it's like a very cool like dark theme video, or like a dark mode video. If you ever watched a Lemino video, it's kind of, I took inspiration from that kind of art style, but I was not at that skilled at that point, so it's kind of, it's definitely could be a little better, but I still love that video to death. And that video has so much heart and soul and passion and drive and just love and care put into it that I don't even know how to put into a Balisong video. I don't know how I can shed such emotion like that and put such love and care into a video that's just about a funny spinny toy that I don't really, doesn't make like, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. And anyone who makes multiple types of content like that kind of understands. I think the closest anyone has ever gotten to it was Addison True's old videos. There was a lot of heart and a lot of love in those videos, but of course they're gone because he privated them all. But that's probably the closest we've been to it. And since the beginning of my channel, you can see I was trying to impersonate that very, very heavily. Because that is, in my opinion, the best Balisong videos that have been made. I know Will and Brandon's stuff is absolutely fantastic, but Addison's stuff had more heart to it. It was more love, and that's what I like. I don't necessarily like kind of, I don't know, Balisong content is by nature very reviewy and very factual, and not very like emotional. It's not very tied to your heart. It's not something you look back on in 20 years and you're cry watching because that video meant so much to you. It's not really that. And that is the stuff that I really like. So Balisong videos have just never really been truly like, this is my magnum opus. I've never been really, I don't know. There's no sentimental value. There is some, not nearly as much as I would like from my other content, and I know it's possible because I have gotten that from my other content. There are some of those old videos I go back and I'm damn near crying watching because of how much this video means to me. But Balisong videos are just not that, and that's just one of the factors that makes me want to switch. So going forward, my Telestro Flips channel will just be, it is currently just Telestro, but I will rebrand the profile picture and do all that. My Balisong videos will stay up. I don't want to delete them unless YouTube gives me issues, which I don't think they will because my channel is all age verified and all that. The Balisong videos will still be there because I know how much those videos mean to some other people, so they will still be there. I just don't want to make Balisong content anymore. I will preface, I do still flip, I do still plan to go to Blade Show, I do still enjoy looking at some things in the hobby. I am still somewhat in the hobby, not nearly as much as I used to be. I'm kind of distancing myself a little bit. But Balisong content, don't expect much anymore from me. I'll have a couple more videos on Blade Bias of some things that I just need to finish up, like this guy, which I just got, the BB Superfly. But other than that, don't expect Balisong content from me from this point on, for the most part. But that's about it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for all the support over all this time. And continue to support Blade Bias. Ethan will run the show with some special guests here and there. But yeah, if you want to keep up with me, not Balisong related stuff, my Instagram will still stay the same. With, less Balisong content. My YouTube is still the same. It's linked in the description. I don't know if it'll be forever linked in the description on this channel, but all this video and previous videos, I'm always linked in the description. Yeah, thank you guys for everything. I owe this hobby so much, and it's one of those things, I'm not going to straight up abandon it and disappear. I am still somewhat involved. But please do not come to me on Instagram and ask me for recommendations on which knife to buy, or, hey, Kit, why is my knife having tap, blah, 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 what do you think of this? I don't care anymore. that is one of the things that I am just like very done with. The ballad song hobby, since it is mostly product based, you get a lot of the same questions over and over and over and over and over again. And when this hobby is my whole life, then I mean, I'm fine answering it. But when I'm trying to distance myself and I still get the DMs like, should I buy a Prisma Pro or should I wait for the Vortex V3 to be released? I don't care. I'm not the person to ask anymore. Because 9 times out of 10, I will straight up just tell you, buy whichever one you like. I'm not going to give you an answer. Because I don't feel like I want to give that answer anymore. And especially as time goes on, I'm not going to feel like I should be the one you're asking. I've always, like, those questions are almost always just do your own research kind of thing. Or like an it depends kind of question. But if I'm distancing myself from the hobby, I don't want to be answering questions like that every day. But regardless, I thank you all for all the constant support. And yeah, there'll be 1 or 2 more videos from me on Blade Bias. As for the main channel, that's it. You got what you got. I'm not making any more. I've already declined. I've gotten a couple offers for like reviews to send out products and stuff. No, sir. Only one I accepted was this one because BB Butterfly is the absolute GOAT. And this is one of the things I was actually still really excited about, despite me trying to kind of, distance myself from the hobby. But for the most part, nothing. So that's about it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and thank you for all the support. I will stop rambling now. Yeah. Bye-bye.